What happens when the people that are meant to protect you engage in unlawful activities themselves? How safe would you feel if the ones that are meant to protect you weren't selected on the basis of the merits, but on how much money they shelled out? What would you do if you were caught between paying for a job and trying to get it on your own merit? Let's see what happens when people decide to choose the first option. In this episode of Scams That Rock the Nation, we will focus on one state in particular. But before we proceed, we will need to read a disclaimer which is: all content submissions in the series are either based on data available on the public domain or collected from various platforms that are hypothetically relied upon. The purpose of the series is to promote by all means truth alone triumphs, or Satyameva Jayate, and not to promote occurrence of any scams. Through this series, we don't intend to either demonize or condemn or pass judgment on those who've been involved, but only to try and create awareness of how some people can find loopholes and misuse the laws of the land and use our gullibility for selfish benefit. Some of them do it just for the money, some for the power, and some just because they think that no one would notice anyway. Although the entire gameplay did not affect the general public directly, it did reek of corruption and wrongdoing at the highest levels. What was absolutely wrong was that people who were supposed to be our protectors were involved. The scam was related to recruitment into the police forces. And like I said at the beginning, this scam did not affect the general population directly. However, what happens when people who are responsible to deter corrupt practices indulge in such activities themselves? What happens when people who have the power start taking money for plum postings? Yes, we are talking about the state of Assam, and the scam that we're talking about is the SI recruitment scam. Let's see what happened. The case was as simple as an exam paper getting leaked on WhatsApp. What exam was this? It was a recruitment exam for the post of sub-inspector with the Assam Police, scheduled to be held on the 20th of September 2020. The number of posts available were 597, whereas the total number of applicants for the exam was 66,000. The main accused in the scam were a former Director General of Police, Prashant Kumar Datta, Superintendent of Police, Kumar Sanjit Krishna, and a political leader from the BJP, Dibon Dekha. The modus operandi was simple. It was revealed during the investigations that ex-DIG P.K. Datta owned about 4 hotels in the city of Guwahati, along with about 20 bighas of land in the city. In addition, he also owned a lot of land and property in his hometown in Dibrugarh. He used one of his hotels to run a police aspirant training center. Candidates were charged about Rs 10,000 before the training. They were assured that everything would be taken care of. All that a candidate had to do was clear the physical fitness test. How did all this happen? Well, a Bongaigaon-based company by the name of Akshay Telecommunication was responsible for conducting the exams. The company was owned by Rubul Hazarika, who was also arrested. According to sources, Rubul Hazarika, along with Dibon Dekha, met with Kumar Sanjit Krishna on the 18th of September 2020, that is 2 days before the exam. Kumar Sanjit Krishna was the then SP Karimganj. Hazarika clicked photographs of the question paper that was set for the exam on the 20th of September. Hazarika then forwarded the photographs to ex-DIG P.K. Datta. Lest we forget, Kumar Sanjit Krishna was also the brother of Chief Secretary of Assam, Kumar Sanjay Krishna. The Chief Secretary was peeved at the fact that his name cropped up in the media and also expressed his disgust in a Facebook post. Well, like most others, this paper leaked into the public domain, resulting in the cancellation of the exams. Who suffered the most were the applicants who actually thought that they would be able to land the job on their own merit. Once news spread that the paper had leaked on WhatsApp, the exam was immediately cancelled. The CM ordered a high-level inquiry, and the chairperson of the state-level police recruitment board, Pradeep Kumar, tendered his resignation, taking moral responsibility for failure to conduct the exams in a free and fair manner. Raids were conducted across various locations used or owned by the perpetrators. About 50 people were arrested, including the ex-DIG, who was the main mastermind. In addition, an amount of Rs 5.4 crores was seized. Yes, compared to the many other scams that have taken place in the country, the amount involved is absolutely negligible. Besides, the common man wasn't really affected directly. But is that the truth? Imagine you were one of the aspirants who toiled day in and day out to land yourself a job of an SI with the police force, only to find out that someone else got the job just because that person could pay. After all, the post of an SI isn't an ordinary post in the police force and comes with a lot of responsibility and the added powers. How would you feel? Although unforgivable, it's understandable when politicians of the likes of a Dibondeka get involved in such shady activities. After all, such people enter this domain only to misuse their authority and make some quick money. What's really hard to fathom is the involvement of high level police officials. Although this incident was stopped in its tracks before it could go any further and many people were arrested, what sort of precautions have been taken to thwart any such attempts in the future? In fact, although many are of the view that the best way to thwart this is by conducting online exams, we've seen what happened even in the JEE entrance exam case in Assam that was conducted by none other than TCS. Yes, we will cover this one too at a later date. What kind of punishment do you think is appropriate for people who betray the very oath of protecting the nation and its citizens? Shouldn't sedition charges also apply to such people? You be the judge. Let's also hear your views in the comment section below. Until then, this is your host Abhijit saying goodbye for now, and we will see you soon in the next episode of Scams That Rock the Nation. And of course, if you'd like to continue receiving updates on the scams that hit India and how they were carried out, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon too to get notified. Until then, stay safe, take care, goodbye.